Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Topic for today's discussion is surrender by Arjuna. So it's a verse 2.7 that we'll be focusing on, and in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, seventh verse. But before that, a reminder that Bhagavad Gita is meant for transformation, and we have to offer ourselves for or make ourselves available for such transformation. Then Bhagavad Gita can work. For anybody who refuses to change, who is resistant to change, Bhagavad Gita will not be of much use to them. All this is where everything is going on. Battlefield of Kurukshetra. Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Sthapaitva Rathottamam. This Ratha, Uttama Ratha, is being taken and been taken and planted in between the two armies by Lord. At the order, by when he receives that order from Arjuna, he directs him, take my chariot in between two armies, and then Krishna does so, and then that this is where Bhagavad Gita was spoken. We'll do a quick recap for the benefit of those who are hearing for the first time or joined for the first time, or for general audience. It's always good to recap where we started from and where for how far we have reached. Prabhupada start, in the introduction, Prabhupada clarifies that the world is not material world is not independent, and the living entities are also not independent. Both have their origin in Krishna. So both are related with Krishna. Both have relationship with Krishna. Living entities are conscious. The material world is not conscious, and hence the living entities are superior between the two. But both of them, since both of them have come from Krishna, he is considered to be the supreme personality of Godhead. He is supreme, supreme amongst everyone, and nobody is equal to or greater than Krishna. So both living entities and the material world, this universe, both have their origin in Krishna. Therefore, both are related with Krishna. So when we are trying to understand the words spoken by Krishna, we have to have this basic understanding that our origin is Krishna. We would not have been here if Krishna was not to manifest us, if Krishna was not to create us. So we should always have humble and submissive attitude towards Krishna. And in that mood, by accepting Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, either wholeheartedly or theoretically, when we approach Bhagavad Gita, we can learn from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna can be understood only by his mercy, only to the extent he is allowing us to understand. If we have understood little bit of Bhagavad Gita, it is because we have received some mercy from Krishna. Our sincere desires and Krishna's sanction together, that combination seems to be working. So uh, if we have to make any progress in understanding this subject matter, we need sanction by Krishna. In general, also we need sanction by Krishna, but this is a special matter. This is a special matter where we will get entry into Krishna's abode, and hence Krishna is very particular in giving his sanction to everyone. So he see a sincere desire by a soul to learn Bhagavad Gita, to end a miserable cycle of repeated birth and death, and then he gives his mercy very happily. And with his mercy, we understand Bhagavad Gita, and then we can practice devotional service to progress towards Krishna. So this is Prabhupada lays this foundation. Prabhupada, gives this foundational knowledge in the introduction itself. And then Bhagavad Gita begins by Dhritarashtra making an inquiry with Sanjaya. Mamakah Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. And so this is the first verse of Bhagavad Gita, and we've discussed that in great detail. After this, from third verse onwards, Duryodhan starts speaking, start encouraging his warriors, cautioning them that they should not take Pandava's army also lightly. But because he has so many formidable warriors, he was sounding as if he is very confident of his victory. Bhishma, instead of responding to his talk, blow his conch shells. And then after him, everyone pulls out their conch shells and start blowing. And this is an indication that the war will now start. War is now unavoidable. After blowing off these conch shells, Arjuna still had some questions, and hence he asked Krishna to take the chariot in between two armies. The supreme master, as Krishna is, also can become obedient servant. Just like the same Krishna can become very obedient but naughty child of Yashoda Maya. Similarly, he can become a obedient servant of Arjuna. So the moment Arjuna gives him direction, take my chariot, Krishna immediately gets into action and drives his chariot in between the two armies. He stop in front, he takes his, he drives it and stops in front of Bhishma and Drona, the two the most beloved people in the opponent army, to the heart of Arjuna. Arjuna used to love his great grandfather. They had a very, very strong, loving, bonding relationship, and he was the favorite disciple of his Dronacharya. Amongst all the students, Arjuna was his favorite, and that was not secret. So seeing them in front of them, Arjuna realized that this is not a trial of arm where I have to demonstrate how much I have learned, and then they will just praise me for. It's not a mock fight. If this is it, this is the final war. This is the most important war of my lifetime, and of the current time. Nothing like this has ever happened. Nothing of this magnitude has ever happened in past, on this earth. So this is a very significant event, and this event I cannot in this event I cannot avoid killing my grandparent. In the Virat Raj, when I fought with them, I just showed them how much I know archery, and they were very appreciative of me. But this is different. I will have to actually shoot arrows to kill them, and they will be doing the same to me. So this is different. Arjuna suddenly realizes the gravity of the situation, and his anger, his desire to fight this important war is replaced by compassion. He's surrounded by various doubts where fear overcomes his mind, and confusion. He's got to find himself in complete confused state of mind. Starts speaking and gives various very logically sounding reasons to Krishna. Is speaking to Krishna, um, and gives various reason why he consider fighting this war is wrong. And then at the end of that chapter 1, he keep aside his famous bow Gandiva, for which he has taken a vow that I will never give up my bow. This is the most precious thing I possess. But he cast aside his bow and sit down in the chariot. uh, why? Because he's not able to stand on his feet. He's just lost. He's completely drained of his energy. He can't. His body is shivering. His mind is reeling, and he understand this is a confused state of mind that he's got himself into. Um, and then he sit in the chariot. Now, overcome by grief, he starts crying. Crying is not one or two tears dropping from his eyes. The flowing from his eyes, the tears are flowing from his eyes. Now, this is a sight no one has ever seen. A Kshatriya will prefer death in the battlefield, but he will never cry. A Kshatriya was considered to be that. a very, very respected. Kshatriya's community itself was very respected in the society, and Arjuna was not an ordinary Kshatriya. He was a champion warrior of his time, and the war depended on him fighting or not fighting. And Pandava was completely dependent on his fighting this war in order to win. And this is what his situation became. He starts saying, "No, you say iti govindam, I will not fight. I will not fight." And then the three verses from the second chapter we discussed last Sunday. The first one was spoken by Sanjay. Sanjay उवाच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णकुलेक्षणं विषिदन्तम् इदं वाक्य उवाच Madhusudanah. Krishna starts speaking in the second verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutatsva Kashmilam idam Vishame Samupasthitam Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Prabhupada wrote in detail about why Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we discuss beautiful section of that purport. And this immediately Krishna is giving Arjuna a pep talk, and poking where it's going to hurt him the most, poking pinching him or poking him where it's going to hurt him most. And he's reminding Arjuna of that 1 year that he spent in Virat Raj, where he was not male. He became a kinnar, and he in that body he was appointed as a dance teacher for Uttara, who later becomes Abhimanyu's wife and mother of Parikshit Maharaj, for whom entire Bhagavatam was spoken. So she played a very important role in the history. But Arjuna became her dance teacher, and and he was accepted, he was allowed to teach her dance because he was not in male body, and that was verified. And so he actually was reduced into that Kinnara body for 1 year because of the curse that he got from Urvashi while he was during his stay in Swarga. And Krishna is reminding him all of that, the most low point in his life, the most forgettable moment of his life. Krishna is bringing it right up and throwing it in his face. Klaibam Yasma Gama Partha Netatva Yupapadyate Kshudram Hridaya Draubalyam Tyaktashta Parantapa. That arise, Uttishta, Tatya Tyaktotishta, Uttishta, Upavisha and Uttishta. Upavisha is sitting down. That's what we heard in the first chapter, the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, where he sat down, Upavisha, and our Krishna is asking him to get up, stand on your own feet, and fight. The verse 4, Arjuna is speaking. Arjuna start to resume his conversation, but now it's a different mood. He's no more giving he's very emotional. And as we heard, he's crying, and he's in the very complete choked with complete emotions. He's still trying to give reasons to Krishna why we should not fight. Arjuna is saying that, "O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, a demon, how can I counterattack with arrows in the battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield." So, indecision. Arjuna doesn't know what to do. And this is what is our situation many times. What to do? What to do? What am I supposed to do? This is called perplexity. When we don't know what to do, is called perplexity, and that is what Krishna will Prabhupada will explain in the seventh verse. Yeah. The seventh verse, let's chant all of us together. This is a different meter. This has four lines, and I will chant the first line, and then you all can repeat, then second line, and you all can repeat, and third and fourth line we will follow. So slightly different meter or tune, so you can all pay attention. But this is one of the most important verse of Bhagavad Gita, so all of us should learn and memorize this beautiful verse 2.7 from Bhagavad Gita second chapter seventh verse. I will chant and you all can follow. कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेताः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेताः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः
यच्छ्रेयः स्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयशान्निष्टं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयः स्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयशान्निष्टं ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यस्ते
हाँ
अहं
65
शाधिमा
नहीं हो
त्वं
सकता 65 नहीं हो सकता
प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यास्तेऽहं शाधिमतं प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यस्ते अहं शाधिमा त्वं प्रपन्नम्
मां तां प्रपन्नम्
Thank you so much, everyone. You all can go on mute. So, karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma samudha chetaha yat shreyah syan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste aham shadhi matvam prapannam. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. Samudha chetaha. Chetaha means mind, and samudha is bewildered state of mind, lost all composure. So, and in this case, what am I doing? Pruchhami tvam dharma samudha cheta. Pruchhami is asking, tvam, asking you, what is my dharma? What am I supposed to do? Now, dharma, the Sanskrit, just like the Sanskrit has same word can be used in multiple ways, and the meaning of that word can change in the context in which it is used. So dharma samudha chetaha, pruchhami tvam dharma can also be very simplistically interpreted as Arjuna asking Krishna, what is my dharma? Am I Hindu? Am I Christian? Am I, so that's obviously wrong interpretation, even if somebody tries that. So dharma also has another meaning. It's called duty. What is it that I'm supposed to do in this particular situation is the question that Arjuna is actually asking. So that's sometimes that this is why we need to study Bhagavad Gita from devotees, and from those who have heard it in parampara. So there are many confusing verses in Bhagavad Gita where if you don't follow parampara explanation, it can just become misleading or it can sound very meaningless. But when we understand the parampara explanation, the same verse becomes extremely meaningful. Now, this is the bija vakya of Bhagavad Gita. Pruchhami tvam dharma samudhacheta. This is the inquiry is being made, and in response to this question, the Bhagavad Gita will be spoken. The rest of the Bhagavad Gita will be spoken. What is it that Arjuna wants to know? Yet Shreya. Shreya means what is best for me. In this situation, what is the best course of action that I should follow? Shreya is what is best for me. स्यान निश्चितम ब्रूहितन में आप सोच के बताइए, निश्चित करके बताइए. निश्चितम ब्रूहितन में, you tell me. And how am I? What is my mood? Shishyaste aham. Shishya, I am become your disciple. I am, though I am sitting in the chariot, somebody externally may see I am the master and you are my servant, but the position has reverse. And Arjuna is now saying, I am your Shishya, I am surrendering to you. Shishyaste aham. I am surrendering to you. Shadhimatvam prapannam. I am surrender soul unto you. Please instruct me. Now, this please instruct me is also important. He's now ready to learn. He's open. Up till now, Arjuna was speaking, giving verdict that fighting is not proper. You know, the men, if all these men assembled in the battlefield, if they get killed, obviously the women and children who are at home, they will get exposed, they will get manipulated, and from this such manipulation unwanted progeny will rise, and this progeny will be adharmic. The progeny is adharmic, they will do adharmic activities, so they will stop the process of offering water and food for the departed souls, and this will lead to the degradation of society, and I will become responsible for it. So Arjuna is not inquiring, he's giving verdict, he's giving decisions. And after taking all those decisions, utilizing his own knowledge, intelligence in the presence of Lord Krishna, now he is reduced to tears. Now he's realized that all his intelligence was misleading, was took him actually in the wrong direction, and he's after after concluding, after becoming satisfied with one's decision, he became more confused, and he was reduced into tears. And then he did the right thing, straight away jumped at the feet of Lord Krishna, saying that you instruct me. Now I'm no more interested in becoming your master. I'm no more interested in giving directions to you. I am coming back to my original position. I am your servant. I am your shishya. I am your disciple. Please instruct me what is best for me, what I should do. Such a beautiful verse. Yeah. So we actually skip this verse. The fifth verse, there was a beautiful explanation that Prabhupada gave. And now Prabhupada is saying Arjuna is considering Bhishma and Drona as his guru, as his seniors. And he's saying they cannot be given away. You know, I cannot disrespect them. No matter what they do, no matter how they act. Prabhupada is saying that's not always true. In the fifth purport written to the fifth verse of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada actually writes something very significant. According to scriptural code, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. That's a very significant statement. Who's personally performed any abominable action, who has broken four regulative principles. For example, four regulative principles that Prabhupada has given us is no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. And if a spiritual master is engaged in any of these activities which are meant to protect one's purity, and so that one can practice Krishna consciousness, they in themselves don't make you a devotee, but they bring you to a platform of purity and sattva gun, from where onwards you can progress towards Krishna. No, it's a foundation. It's not. Prabhupada used to say that you become human when you follow these four regulative principles, and anybody who is not been able to follow these are at the level of animal. Now, for animal there is no spirituality. You just do eating, mating, sleeping, defending, and take body after body. Give up this body, take up another body. Just do this. You have no hope. Practically, such people have no hope of liberation. They have no understanding of liberation. They don't know what to do after liberation. They just are completely functioning at the level of animal, and behaving as if they are actually animals, but while they are humans. So so this is, if a guru does something like this, does some action which is not he's not supposed to do, and lost his sense of discrimination. A guru or a devotees are supposed to discriminate between right and wrong. But when and obviously should have sadhana, sufficient sadhana to be able to choose the right course of action. And in every situation there will always be right and wrong. At times there will be right and more right, but that more right should be chosen. So, if Guru is not able to do that, such Guru is fit to be abandoned. And Prabhupada write further in the purport that Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhan because of his financial assistance, although they should not have accepted such a position simply on the financial considerations. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers, and hence they were fit to be abandoned. So, uh, this is a significant statement. And we see in the pastime of Bali Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam, there was a situation where Bali Maharaj's teacher Shukracharya recognizes Vaman as Lord Vishnu, as Krishna himself, and he's saying, if Vishnu has come to your door, Krishna has come to your door asking 3 feet of land, you're saying, do you think he's clean in his mind? उसमें कपट नहीं है क्या? आप समझ नहीं सकते? बलि महाराज को ही बता रहे हैं. And then so he says, this is, if he is going to cheat, you cheat, you say no, even if you're not even given arghya, or you're not offered water, so you just say that you want to give, and he is asked for 3 feet 3 steps land, but I know who he is, and he doesn't need land, everything belongs to him. So if he's asking for something like this, there should be some purpose. There must be something in his mind which is obviously not revealed, and that may not be good for you. So as a guru, I'm ordering you, don't give him 3 feet of three steps land, go simply refuse. Bali Maharaj, on the other hand, argues with his, or give a counter argument to his teacher, saying that you are saying he is Vishnu, he is Krishna, and you are also saying that everything is created by him, everything belongs to him. So, and if he's come here with the intention of taking those 3 steps of land from me, do you think I will be able to say no? Do you think I will be able to protect those 3 steps of land from him? When Vishnu wants to take, can I protect? Can I say no? If he wants to take, he will anyway take. Isn't it true? So, who am I to stop him? Might as well I will cooperate with him. So, it's like, say that when Krishna wants to give, you can't take, you just, there is not sufficient room in your hands, in your heart, to take what Krishna can give. Similarly, when Krishna wants to take away, you can't protect, you can't hold on to anything that Krishna wants to take away. So Bali Maharaj abandoned the instruction given by his guru Shukracharya, and go ahead and agrees to Vamandev, that I will give you 3 steps of land. And in one step, this whole Bhumandal was acquired. Second step, all all the three lokas were acquired. And then he says, you have not been able to fulfill your promise. You told me you will give three steps of land, and then Bali Maharaj offered himself, saying that you keep your third step on my head and accept me completely. So this is complete surrender, and Bali Maharaj was glorified for this action. So a guru, so we as a disciple, as a devotees, we should also have our eyes and ears open. It's not we should have shraddha on guru, and we should follow instructions of guru. That is there, and without guru there is no mercy. Without guru, there we cannot function, we cannot progress towards Krishna. However, if we find that there is a problem, we should also be aware, and at times we can even abandon such gurus whose advice is not in consistency with Bhagavad Gita. So our primary attachment, the purpose of our coming to Krishna consciousness is to develop our relationship with Krishna. Guru is supposed to facilitate the same. But if you find Guru is coming in between you and Krishna, such gurus can be abandoned. So again, a serious consideration, but still, this is the instruction of Shastra as well. Prabhupada writes in the purport for the seventh verse. We are now discussing purport of seventh verse. Now, Prabhupada talks about perplexity. As I said, perplexity means not knowing what to do, not knowing what to do in any particular given situation. And Prabhupada relates such this perplexity will come in everyone's life, no matter how good, bad, ugly your situation is. Financially, health wise, family wise, social wise, socially, country level, at any level, the material world means perplexity. Perplexity. This is the second, you can say this is the second name of material world is perplexity. Every step, will be confused. We will not be sure what to do this or to do that, and which one is better choice. Prabhupada writes in the purport that by nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. The whole cosmic universe is a source. We get our perplexities from this material world only for everyone. No one accepted. No one. There are no exceptions. Politicians are perplexed. Film stars are perplexed. The business tycoons are perplexed. Ordinary people are perplexed. You are perplexed. I am perplexed. Everyone is dealing with this issue of perplexity. Perplexity, which means not knowing what to do, becoming confused about the course of action that we should be taking. In every step there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happens without our desire. Now, Prabhupada is going to give a beautiful analogy to explain this point. Analogy of forest fire. Forest fire is when we've heard, earlier this year, in Australia there was a forest fire, and which they were trying to douse by extinguish by pouring water from helicopters and aeroplanes. But a forest fire is something, that the fire just starts and then burns the whole forest, and it's become so big, it becomes practically uncontrolled and undealable. Humans with our small means cannot deal with such incidents. And Prabhupada is comparing forest fire with our perplexities. Our mind becomes like forest fire, as if the whole forest is set on fire. You just don't know what to do, and it seems it will devour the whole universe. And something similar happens when our mind gets into a trouble. Our mind, when we have problems with our mind, we feel the situation is as if there is a forest fire going on inside us. So very beautiful analogy Prabhat gave. Prabhat writes in the purport that they are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusions. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place and we become perplexed. Now, no one wants fire, replace fire by problems. No one wants to have problems in life, but the problems comes and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. Uh, Why disciplic succession? Because Krishna says, one of the Bhagavatam verse in Ajamil pastime where Yamaraj is saying that uh, whatever whatever instruction God gives, that becomes dharma. That becomes the religion. Dharmam to sakshat bhagavat pranita. Whatever Bhagavan speaks, whatever instructions Bhagavan speaks, that is it should be accepted as dharma. So the manufacturing of religion is monopoly of Krishna. Manufacturing of a religion is monopoly of Krishna. Nobody can manufacture a way of worship. Krishna can, unless he is authorized by Krishna or he is in the same disciplic succession. So Krishna will create, so Krishna will speak Bhagavad Gita and he to Arjuna, and through Arjuna it will get it will be transferred, it will be passed on to the later generations so that everyone in the later generation can also get to learn the same knowledge. So this is called disciplic succession. So one guru tells to his disciple, and the disciple tells to another disciple, and this is how it is passed on to the next generations. And this is how the Vedic wisdom was taught and learned by everyone. So it should be, the knowledge should not be manufactured. So today what we see, if you pick up 10 copies of Bhagavad Gita, all 10 will give different knowledge. And all of those are actually manufactured by the respective authors. That's not permitted. A translator should not add his own wisdom while translating. He's supposed to simply translate. He's supposed to simply convey the message in the language and to be understood by the audience. Suppose if Prime Minister of India is going to give speech in Japan, where he may not be able to speak their language and they may not be able to understand Hindi and English. So they may appoint a translator. And Prime Minister, whatever Prime Minister is speaking, he is supposed to convey it in the way it can be understood by the people over there. He is not supposed to add his own wisdom into the speech. If he wants to do that, he should give his own speech and then let people figure out whether they want to come and hear. But while acting as a translator, his fundamental and the core job is to actually convey the same meaning to the audience in the language and the way they can understand. Every author of Bhagavad Gita is supposed to do this. However, you will realize most of them have actually goofed up by adding their own wisdom to the message of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita contains a lot of wisdom. There's no need, nobody can be equal to or more wise than Krishna. So there's no need to add anything into Bhagavad Gita message. Simply has to be delivered in as is way that could have served the purpose. But because that is not done, Prabhupada repeatedly caution everyone not to unnecessarily, not to think that every Bhagavad Gita copy that you get in the marketplace is should give the same message. Unfortunately, that is how it should have been, but unfortunate situation is that is not how it is. So one should approach a spiritual master who is learning in disciplic succession and has the same conclusions, learn this has this gets the same conclusions that were got that conclusions were drawn by Arjuna. So the learning is proper. That this is again a very important point, and Prabhupada repeatedly highlight this point in the preface, also in the forewords, in the introduction, and also in the purports. Wherever he gets an opportunity, he reminds everyone of that point, that listen to a person who is speaking in disciplic succession. If he's manufactured his own philosophy, do not listen to such explanations. They will certainly be misleading. There's no need to give manufacture anything. Everything is been provided for. So that's the disciplic succession for us, and we should be careful. We should be asking these questions, that who am I listening from, and what is his connection with Krishna. If you don't see any such connection, you should not listen to such person. A person with bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. That is the purport of this verse. Don't just remain in this material world, suffering birth after birth, the miserable condition of life. Don't don't do this. Prabhupada is saying one should approach a spiritual master, one should approach devotees who are trying to practice in the the life of Krishna consciousness, perform devotional service in making an effort to go closer to Krishna. Any such devotees or a spiritual master who is guiding such devotees, if we should find those people, and we should hold on to those people very very tightly, so that we learn their art. We learn Bhagavad Gita, we also learn how to practice Krishna consciousness and how to go closer to Krishna, and as a combination of these two, which will be the outcome of our effort. And that way we should end the cycle of repeated birth, and we should get out of these material perplexities permanently. Vaikuntha. Kuntha is anxiety. Kuntha means worry. Vaikuntha is without kuntha. The place without kuntha or anxiety or worry is Vaikuntha. So every ISKCON temple is called Vaikuntha. Is a mini Vaikuntha. Is a mini Vrindavan. Wherever it might be situated, it could be Los Angeles. You can have Vrindavan within Los Angeles, San Francisco. Las Vegas has a beautiful Krishna temple. So so there, that's where you will get relief from perplexities of mind. Mandir has to do a lot with mana, which is our mind, and the the shelter of mind is mandir, where you get shelter for your mind. That's a place called mandir. It's also considered to be a hospital for the mind. You can have hospital for body, but this is hospital for mind. So where you treat your mind, where you reorient your mind from the world to Krishna, and that is you refocus your mind towards Krishna, and that's how you progress towards Krishna, and that's how only you can come out of the situation of perplexities. When in difficulty, Arjuna immediately turned to Krishna. Can somebody give for you examples of from the life of Pandavas when they turned to Krishna for help? Few examples. Anybody can remember? You can raise hand, so that we can give few incidences from Pandavas' life story. Hopefully, most of you might be aware of how what was Mahabharat, what happened. But a couple of examples anybody can think of. Sanjeev Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, when uh, Draupadi prayed to the Lord when she was being disrobed uh, in the palace, that's
Okay, so that's one example when they sought help from Pandavas. Very nice. Amit Prabhuji, Ashwini Wadkar Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just before the war, Arjuna had been to Krishna's palace to ask further advices. That is the time when Duryodhana had also accompanied, but Arjuna himself has also gone through. That was one incident when
Yeah.
Pandava had seeked help
Okay.
from Krishna.
Thank you
And
so much. Baiju Prabhuji, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Yeah. So same Prabhuji, actually I wanted to highlight that before war, Arjuna has been to Krishna's place, and he asked him to at least be with them
Okay.
and bless them with suggestions and advices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the
Please.
first year, they went to the forest, that is Vanavasa. At the time, they had no food for them. Actually, the Brahmanas come to them and feeding them. So at the time, they pray for Krishna and got that Akshay Patra.
Akshay Patra. Okay. Thank you so much. Ashwini Mataji. Then Anurag, Prabhu, Atishi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
My first example was that Durvasa Rishi visited due to when Duryodhana told them that go to Yudhishthira and take and go to Yudhishthir, means go to meet Yudhishthir and Pandavas in the forest. At that time, Draupadi asked for help to Krishna, and another one is mm, while actually I forgot Prabhuji.
Okay.
Sorry,
No
I
problem.
was.
Anurag Verma, then Atishi Ghosh.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I remember two instances. Number one, when Indraprasth was being set up, prior to that, they had got a barren land. So it was Krishna who inspired them to actually convert that barren land into a very prosperous kingdom. And the second instance, Prabhuji, that I remember is when they were in Vanvas and they were speculating what to do next. Then Krishna arrived at their cottage and advised Arjuna to go to Indra and Swarlok to acquire the
Celestial
Astra.
weapons. Correct.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice. Thank you so much. Atishi. So, Atishi Ghosh, you can unmute and speak if you can.
Yes, in order, Hare Krishna
You're
Prabhuji,
audible. Yes.
in order to avoid the war, the Pandavas wanted Lord Krishna to go to Dhritarashtra as a messenger of peace, so that the war does not take place. I
Hare.
remember this.
Yeah, that's nice. Yes, yes. Shanti Doot Parva. Yeah.
Shanti Dut, correct, messenger of peace.
Yes, yes. Okay, I think a lot of nice examples. We'll see. Yeah, most of those are, I think a lot of those are covered. So let's go to the second topic of discussion. Brajavasis in Krishna Lila also, every time they got themselves into problem, they used to turn to Krishna. The whole Krishna book is actually full of pastimes where, um, where how just show an example of how Brajavasis knew no other shelter other than Krishna, be it Gopas, be it Gopis, be it wives of Brahmanas, be it the elderly Brajavasis, be it the men, the women, everyone, even the cows had no other shelter but Krishna. They used to turn to Krishna for everything. Can you give some examples of that? Yes, Lakshmi Mataji.
Govardhan Parvat wala leela hai.
Okay, Govardhan Leela, very nice. Yes, Atshi. Anybody else? Yes, Amit Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the time when Krishna's friends they entered the mouth of one of the demons and they realized that they will not be having any problem. They just turned to Krishna. That Krishna is gonna take care of all the problems what's gonna arise. So that was one occasion. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Aghasur, that's they entered the mouth of
Correct.
Aghasur thinking Krishna will protect. Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
Prabhuji. Correct.
yes, Pivan, Kanchan Mataji.
Kalindi leela.
Yeah,
Hare
you can
Krishna
just.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Kanchan Mataji.
Yeah, I remember the Leela where Kamsa has asked for 1 crore of lotus flowers to be served to him, and then Krishna helped villagers to, he saved villagers from all the asurs which Kansa sent to Mathura, to Vrindavan, as well as whatever difficulties they face in terms of trading goods like milk, makhan, and curd, everything. So all the difficulties which whatever they had, they only knew of one name, which is Krishna, because
Okay.
he was a real savior for them in all the situations.
Mhm. Thank you, Nataji. Nirbhay, Nirbhay Gandhi, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare-
I remember the case where the Kalinag was one of the biggest demon which was residing in the river, and the entire river was poisonous because of him. And Krishna has created a lila to take out the Kalinag and take it out from that river, right? So that's the only one case which I remember right now.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, wonderful Leela, where he danced on the hoods of Kalia, and yeah, beautiful, subdued Kalia. Yes, Achi.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Same thing I wanted to say for Kaliya Dahan.
Kalia
Uh,
Dahan,
the
yes.
Brajavashis sought Krishna's help.
Yeah, so many beautiful, wonderful Leelas that Krishna kept performing one after another. The whole Krishna book is actually that there could be devouring of forest fire, multiple, many beautiful Leelas are there. And so what we're seeing is Pandavas, especially Arjuna, whenever they used to be in problem, now it's not that they were not resourceful. It's not that Pandavas were, mightily resourceful. Pandavas were undefeatable. Bhima, Arjuna, Yudhishthir, all the five brothers were extremely powerful. They were capable warriors. They were kings. They were they were owning Indraprastha Rajdhani. Also, they came from a big kula. So all the very opulent, in terms of skills, talents, shaurya, that is uh, that is parakram, shaurya, jo power, strength, and all kind of shastrastra. They had everything. They had a lot of things. And they were the practically, the champion warriors of their times. And all the five brothers were very powerful. Arjuna and Bhima were more powerful out of everyone. But nevertheless, everyone was extremely powerful. And despite of all that, whenever there used to be a problem, they used to remember Krishna. They have done this throughout their life. And that is how, when Arjuna found himself in the confused state of mind, he had, without worrying, without thinking twice, he turned to Krishna and surrendered to him and said, Shishyaste aham shadi matvam prapannam. Next example, we saw Brajalilas, where Brajavasis, no, they were not very opulent like Pandavas. They were not kings and queens and had various celestial weapons. They had nothing, but they had Krishna. They had Krishna, and they remembered Krishna for everything. We see one example of Pandavas who had everything materially, but still they were dependent completely on Krishna for all the advices, for everything. And Brajavasis, who practically are materially, they were very simple villagers, but they had Krishna. And every time there used to be a problem, they used to go to Krishna, and Krishna was saving them. All of them were surrendered to Krishna. However, our conditions are slightly different. When we get into difficulties, question is, we don't remember Krishna and seek his help. We're going to, go into that question later, but we'll just park it, for example, for the time being now. Few examples, or most of you, I think, pulled out all these beautiful, examples that reclaiming Khandoprastha and taking help from Maya Danava to create Indraprastha, very beautiful palace, and peace mission to Hastinapur. somebody mentioned that, Atishi mentioned, I think, Kurukshetra war itself, Krishna agreed that even if Arjuna said, I don't care, even if you don't want to use a weapon, perfectly all right, you just be there with us and we are okay with that. And Krishna just came as an capacity of an advisor. He said, I will not lift a weapon, but I will be present. If you ask me anything, if you need anything, I'm there to tell you. So he participated in Kurukshetra war, uh, protecting Draupadi's honor in the assembly of Hastinapur, where she was. There was an attempt to disrobe her. Navigate, navigating exile, the 13 years of exile, and then 1 year of 1 year they spent in Virat Raj in Agyatwas. So navigating through this entire period was possible only because of the interventions and the directions from Krishna. Divine intervention during Durvasa Muni's visit, where Krishna ate a leaf of of a leaf, which a very very small piece of leaf from the bottom of that vessel, and everyone felt so much filled with their tummy, was so much filled that they, when Bhima came to invite them for food, they thought we can't say no to him and we can't eat, so they started running away. This again, that this divine intervention saved Pandava's honor. Brajalilas, multiple, very beautiful Kalya Lila. Somebody mentioned Shaktasur, uh, the cart demon came in the form of a cart. The many demons came in a form of bull, calf. All of those were killed by Krishna. Then Putana pastime, Trunavarta pastime, Brahma Vimon Lila, forest fire, Kalya Mardan Lila, um, Indra, when he came, he became angry that his offering was he will not be given a sacrifice. Instead of that, his offering were now offered to Govardhan, and Krishna becoming Govardhan was devouring all the bhoga that was offered to him. And Indra saw that, became angry, sent a cloud to destroy Vrindavan. It is to say that one drop of rain was of the size of an elephant, and that could have drowned the whole earth. But Vrindavan was saved, and Krishna simply lifted Govardhan and used it as an umbrella to protect everyone. All the Brajavasis got 7 days and 7 nights non-stop darshan of Krishna. The cows, the calf, everyone was under Govardhan, and Govardhan was protecting, and nothing, not a drop of water came inside Govardhan. And the moment Indra realized his mistake, he he um, he 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 came to that place Surabhi Kunda with Surabhi cow and beg for obeisances, perform beautiful abhishek, beautiful pastime. So there are many beautiful leelas which which were performed. But so this is what our problems are: janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. These are problems for all the living entities, including human beings. When we find ourselves into problem, when we find ourselves into problem, we seek predominantly two solutions. One, through money. We think our shelter is not Krishna in general. Our shelter is not Krishna. And we saw examples of two extremes. Example one is Pandavas were extremely opulent. No, none of us in this, out of 140, 139 people, would be as opulent as Pandavas were. But for them, Krishna was their shelter. For us, our money, bank balance is our shelter. Our insurance policies are our shelter. It's not wrong to have money. It's not wrong to have insurance policies. It's not wrong to have opulence. But our shelter should always be Krishna. Our shelter should always be Krishna. If we have knowledge, we will always take shelter in Krishna. We will not take shelter in the money, the bank balance, in the influence we have. Science and technology emerge as a parallel to God. If you everything is people try to justify using how scientific it is. Why should we have tulsi plant in home? Because it is scientific. Maybe scientific, but that's a secondary. If it but primary, Krishna loves tulsi, and we want tulsi is a Tulsi Vrunda Devi is controller of general manager for Vrindavan. If we want to enter Vrindavan, we need to worship Tulsi Devi. We need to we need her mercy. We need her mercy to participate in the Braja Leela, Vrindavan Leela. To enter Vrindavan, we need her mercy, and she is eager to give her mercy to us. So Tulsi Krishna Prayasi Namo Nama. We pray to Tulsi Maharani. But to but to find out how scientifically uh, it is beneficial, maybe yes, and that's secondary purpose. That's not so important purpose. But when you make that as the primary purpose, then you turn the things around, because then you are no more interested in Vrunda Devi, glory of Vrunda Devi. You don't believe in the glory of Vrunda Devi, but you believe in how Tulsi plant gives oxygen for 24 by 7, and hence you should have her in your house. Now that's a secondary. Krishna has provided sufficient oxygen for all of us if we choose not to destroy it. And we all of us are breathing oxygen. Now, even if there may be tulsi around us, there may not be tulsi around us. So that is a secondary. But by science, sometimes we will bring science in such a way, start utilizing, start believing in science as if science is only God. Science is not supposed to replace God. Science is not supposed to replace God. So that should not become shelter. Science is not Krishna. So these are our shelters, and these are the problems that we are trying to solve using these solutions, and we are no wonder that we are failing miserably. We've had a few history in history, we've had few other problems. We had a problem. Hitler had a problem. Hitler, one of the problems that Hitler had was he wanted to kill Jews. He considered Jews to be useless people, and he said they will anyway die
Hare
eventually.
Krishna Prabhuji, we are unable to hear you properly.
So sorry. Hare Krishna. Is this happened just now, or
Just now, probably it has got means little bit low voice.
is it better now?
Hopefully, to me, it sounds better.
It's okay. Others can give thumbs up in the chat or say if voice is there.
Yes, Prabhuji, audible.
Which
Audible?
thank you. It is fine audible.
Okay, okay. So should we proceed?
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhu.
let's proceed. Yeah. Thank you so much for highlighting. So Hitler had a problem. We are saying that we have problems and how we seek solutions. So Hitler had one problem. He wanted to kill Jews um, during Second World War, and so he wanted, make 10 people, 100 people stand and shoot each of them, consumes a lot of time. So he wanted to make that process efficient. We have in the factories, in office environment, we appoint consultants for making our processes efficient, so that in less time we can have maximum production, in less time we can do a lot of work, we can do automation. So one of this was a problem statement for somebody like Hitler. So how did science help when he gave this problem statement to the scientists where that were serving him? They came up with a concept of gas chamber. He said, you stuff a lot of people into gas chamber, and we can make gas chambers of different capacities. We can we can fill those chambers with poisonous gas, and in no time these people will be dead. So you can kill masses in very very short time, and well, problem solved. problem was solved. Next problem, somebody want to destroy a city. How will you do that? How many bombs, small hand grenades will be required? Plenty. And it will also be very time consuming. It will not be very efficient. So how to efficiently destroy a city was the problem statement that America had. The solution came up as a nuclear bomb, atomic bomb. And we realized that how devastating they can be when they were used for the first time in Japan in the World War II by America. Uh, what is happening here is we go to science seeking solution, and often science actually give us solution, but the solution becomes a bigger problem than the original problem itself. The solution actually end up becoming a bigger problem than the original problem. Science is not able to tell us whether any of the above actions are right or wrong. If you ask for a solution, science will give you solution. It's up to you to figure it out. Now, if your moral standards are low, when your moral standards are degraded, you will come up with these solutions and you will reward those scientists for giving you these solutions. But these are horrible things. How how do you learn? From where you will learn what is right, what is wrong? What should be done, what should not be done, if science is not able to teach you this? So if you are supposed to inherit a lot of property from your grandmother, now if you give this science problem statement to science, science will tell you mix few chemicals in the breakfast of your grandmother, she will die and the whole property will become yours. This is the solution science can easily give. But science is unable to tell whether this is right, this is wrong. Should you be doing this? Should you not be doing this? This is not written in science. Where it is found in Bhagavad Gita. Moral codes are not mentioned in the science. You need to live a peaceful, fulfilling life, happy life. You need to be in the you need to have peace of mind, not your mind in pieces. If you perform actions like this, your mind will always be in pieces, and without peaceful mind you cannot live happy life. So so that's why we need Bhagavad Gita. We all have worries, we all have problems in our life, and we often turn outwards to seek solution to these problems, and this is what we have problems of loneliness, depression, overthinking, weakness of mind, fear, not having low self-esteem. We have plenty of problems. We have plenty of problems in this entire generation is having social mental health issues. The bewildered state of mind that Arjuna mentions in the seventh verse is the condition of the whole generation today. Everyone has their mind bewildered. They don't really know, none of us know what really to do. At times we think we are very clear, like Hitler was very clear that he had a problem statement, give me solution, I will implement, and he did that. But eventually that turned out to be a horrible situation, horrible problem and horrible solution both. And we are also, so sometimes we may be thinking we are clear, but we are not clear because our goals are wrong. So this is what we end up becoming. We have problem statements in our life, and we turn to science, and science gives us smart television, science gives us internet, where there is a lot of pornography. You can keep browsing, fast browsing phones, and for browsing, the science is coming up with fast browsing phone one after another. They can They can keep increasing price, and they can increase price because phones get sold. They are fast browsing laptops and tabs and tablets, and the televisions are becoming smart, so you can do what you can do on the phone and machine, desktop, laptop, tabs, you can do it on the television as well. We have different sciences helping us manufacture different varieties of alcohol. Science is helping us produce different varieties of sexual content, which can hook a mind to a television screen for hours and hours, and forget their duty, forget their family, forget their worries, forget their problems. So unlimited sexual content can be provided with the help of science. Cigars can be manufactured, drugs can be manufactured and transported and arranged to be delivered at your doorstep with the help of science and technology. Uh, Build beautiful casinos, air conditioned, beautiful, nice casinos where play nice music, where you can throw up, where give up all your life savings and become bankrupt, and then later go out and commit suicide. And science can provide with you nice chemicals for that as well. Fast airplanes to take you around the world for holidays so that you can forget your miserable situation and in life. Butcher houses to cook and serve you with different species of life, different animals. They can be cooked and served to further degrade your consciousness, to create social media monster to help you connect with the entire world, but help you forget your own identity, that you are spirit soul, and you are supposed to connect with the super soul. You have a connection with the super soul, we have to revive that connection. For that is the primary purpose of why you have taken birth. But science can help you forget all of that, and this is where we might land ourselves into.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
when scientists also fail, they remember Lord. For
Yes,
example,
true.
take the Draupadi case. She was trying to protect herself. When she failed, ultimately she said, surrender, raised both hands and said, hey Krishna. She has taken the help. So in their life, people try to protect themselves, solve their problems. But finally, when they fail through all resources, they will remember Lord. Hey Krishna, please help us. So this is our situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, true, very true. And but we have to come to that situation. वो situation, Prabhuji, automatically नहीं आती है. Uh, we have to go to that situation, because lot of time can get wasted in trying out all these options. कि इससे नहीं तो इससे मुझे सुख मिलेगा, इससे नहीं तो इससे मुझे मिलेगा, ये ट्राई करते हैं, ये करते हैं. Just trying to go back to my previous slide. Yeah. One, if I'm not happy with one wife, the my spouse, maybe I will change my spouse and I'll keep changing her, keep changing him, so that I may find that the next one will give me happiness, the next thing will give me happiness. Now, this is called, Bhagavad Gita uses a word called ashapash, a beautiful word, ashapash, कि आप आप एक आशा होती है कि next thing is that will click me. A lot of busy people are not in casinos, typically work on this logic that everyone feels कि next thing will be theirs, and they just get hooked to it, and then they just get destroyed. you know so this is asha pash, is also unfortunately Maya's creation, and those who want, Krishna provide them with that also. So it can we can lose considerable amount of time in our life chasing these things, and it can be by devotees intervention, by Krishna's intervention, or um, by our own by waking up from the sleep. We may become aware that this is not working. Let me go to Krishna, let me go to Bhagavad Gita, let me try out something else. So this has to happen. If that doesn't happen, we may remain entrapped in the asha pash perpetually. So beautiful verse from Bhagavatam. Savem punso paro dharmo Yato bhakti radhokshase hetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Krishna says, the Sutta Goswami actually says this, the supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. The supreme occupation, the only occupation, the principal occupation for humanity, all of humanity, is doing those things, doing those activities by which loving devotional service to Krishna. Adhokshaze is the Krishna, the one who is beyond the material senses, who cannot be understood by material senses, is Adhokshaze. So that loving devotional service unto Krishna, developing taste, developing desire, developing liking, developing love for Krishna is the primary occupation. The principal purpose for which we have taken birth is this. Just like if you get admission into IIT and IIM, their principal purpose is to pass, not to get stuck in the canteen, not to sing songs in the canteen, not to play cricket in the ground. You can do all of that. But your first primary purpose, you should focus on study and getting out of passing out of that IIT or IIM, not remain perpetually as a student to enjoy the facilities given in the IIM facility. So similarly, humans especially, if you have taken human body, if you are in human body, Bhagavatam says principal occupation, the primary purpose for which human life should be used is to attain loving devotional service unto the Krishna, Lord Krishna. And such devotional service must be unmotivated, that is ahetuki, विदाउट एनी हेतु कि मुझे पास करा दो, शादी करा दो, बच्चा दे दो, बच्चे को सुधार दो. This is, it's good sometimes if you have these genuine problems, we may go to Krishna and pray for his help, but our bhakti should not be conditional to Krishna helping us. हेल्प किया तो मैं भक्ति करूंगा, माला करूंगा, जपा करूंगा. हेल्प किया तो मैं भगवत गीता क्लास अटेंड करूंगा. एक वीक हो गया, मैंने भगवत गीता क्लास भी अटेंड कर लिया एंड तुमने हेल्प नहीं की, नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल नॉट अटेंड, नेक्स्ट आई विल गिव यू अप. अब मैं छोड़ दूंगा, भगवान को छोड़ दूंगा, मैं क्या कर लोगे तुम मेरा. दैट शुड नॉट बी आवर एटीट्यूड. आवर भक्ति शुड नॉट बी कंडीशनल. It should be ahetuki. Apratihata means continuous, uninterrupted, to completely satisfy the self.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Is
Mataji.
this in the Bhagavad Gita or is it from the Srimad?
Bhagavatam was, sorry, I forgot to mention, this is Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, sixth verse. I have
Okay.
written the reference over here. I will circulate the slides, but forgot to mention that before.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Another beautiful verse, Chaitanya Chatamrut, Madhya Leela, 22nd chapter, 113 verse, which says that Smartavyam Satatam Vishnur Vismartavyam na Jatachud. Krishna is the origin of Lord Vishnu. He should always be remembered and never forgotten at any time. All the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the Shastras should be the servant of these two principles. Which two principles? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Simple. Always remember Krishna, never forgets Krishna. Everything written in the any shastra, any instruction, anything that you do or you don't do should lead you to these two principles. That should be the servant of these two principles, should be subordinate to these two principles. Why we have to remember Krishna and never forget Krishna? Bhagavad Gita has a similar instruction. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Arjuna, Krishna is saying Arjuna that you should always remember me. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me. Anusmara is remembrance, thinking and remembrance of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty. For us, we are not fighters, so our duties could be our worldly prescribed duties, whatever in the grahastha ashram, student ashram, whatever ashram we may belong to, whatever duties which are available to us, we should perform those by always thinking about Krishna, by always remembering Krishna, with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. We have to remember Krishna so that we can attain Krishna. We have to remember Krishna so that we can attain Krishna. How does that happen? In the fifth verse, Bhagavad Gita of the eighth chapter, Krishna says that Antakale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati sabadbhavam yanti nastatra samshaya. Krishna says, how you will attain me? Whoever at the end of his life quit his body remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So the whole program is to attain Krishna at the end of our life. And this is how you will attain Krishna, by remembering Krishna while giving up our sharir, our body. By remembering Krishna alone while giving up our body, we can attain Krishna. And how we can remember Krishna at the moment of our death? If we can remember him, if we have remembered Krishna throughout our life. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarayutyacha. Throughout our life, we will be engaged in various activities. But if we can perform all of those activities by remembering Krishna alone, then and for that, our mind and intelligence should be dedicated, should be attached to Krishna, should be fixed to Krishna. Then we can attain Krishna easily. And then, as says, Smartavya Satatam Vishnur Vismartavya Na Jatachut. That will be possible. Remember, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And this is the principal occupation of humans. So this is how the journey we have just completing. Principal occupation of the human is to develop loving devotional service to Krishna. Um, Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Sarveshu Kaleshu, perform all your prescribed duties, remembering Krishna, and thereby attain Krishna. And actually, what is the moment of attainment of Krishna comes? That is your antakal. That is at the time of giving up your body, you should remember Krishna. So everything, all this whole human life is should come to this is like a preparation for an exam, and antakal is our exam. Antakal is the moment of our exam, is a moment of truth for us, and we should pass our exam if we have prepared well for our exam. During our life, if we have performed all our activities by constantly cultivating remembrance of Krishna, we will at the end of our life remember Krishna. Arjuna, even though he had all the opulence of this world, um, always remembered Krishna. And therefore, in the moment of difficulty, he remembered Krishna. Brajavasis, throughout their life, they always turned to Krishna. They had no other shelter other than Krishna. They always sought help from Krishna. So therefore, in the mouth of Aghasur, all the Gopas were walking into, they were fearless that Krishna will protect. If we have to die, we will die. But otherwise, if we have to, if need be, Krishna will protect. If this is at all a demon, Krishna will protect. So they were fearless. So, because they were always dependent on Krishna, in the moment of their difficulty, they can always remember Krishna. And this is precisely what we should do. Surrender to Lord Krishna. Whenever there is confusion or conflict about what to do, loving devotional service to Lord Krishna should be given top priority. Other duties which are connected with our present body are subordinate or secondary to devotional service. Whenever our bodily duties are forcing us to compromise our spiritual duties or devotional service, we should seek guidance from a devotee to know what to do. At times there will be situations in our life where this situation can be reversed for a temporary period. For example, if somebody is sick in your home, and if during while taking care of that period, during that period, you are not able to take care of your devotional service properly. Now, a devotee should be able to guide us, understanding what situation we are into and for how long the material duties can overtake your spiritual duties and when you should resume back to your spiritual duties. So, a devotee who is guiding us continuously should be able to help us navigate through these situations, through this difficult situation where where for a temporary period. So tomorrow is exam, important exam coming, and you are if you are not able to attend classes, then a devotee can guide you to skip the class but attend a recording later, but attend your exams with prepare for your exams wholeheartedly. So a devotee guiding us can help us navigate through different situations where we can apply this principle in our life. They can guide us basis instructions from Bhagavad Gita and examples of other senior devotees and their own realizations, of course. But this is the basis. It's not that they can think and they can manufacture anything. They have to guide basis instructions from Bhagavad Gita and the examples set by our senior devotees and acharyas. Prabhupada writes in the purport further that about a man, he is a miserly man, miserly kripana, a miserly man who does not solve the problem of life as a human and who thus quit this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. Very very bold and very powerful statement that don't leave this world, don't give up your body like cat and dog. They don't know Bhagavad Gita. They cannot read Bhagavad Gita. They cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. They cannot understand that they are caught up in the cycle of birth and death. They cannot get any spiritual realizations. They cannot practice chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So they cannot get realizations. They cannot understand the concept of God. They cannot perform austerities. So do all of that while you are in the human body. Don't live life like a cat and dog and pigs, and don't live like them and don't live this world like them. So live, become a human and pursue these activities in your human form of life. This human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. Simple way, miser is a person who is very wealthy but living life like a poor person. Miser is a person who is very wealthy but he's not eating because he think he will end up wasting his money on food. Why to waste money on food? So that kind of a person where you have so much you can do in human form of life. But if you go given a golden pen and you only scratch it for using your head, use it for scratching your head, uh, it's a miserly use of a golden pen, beautiful pen. So a golden opportunity is this human form of life. Don't simply waste it for doing activities which animals are also doing. That is the message of Shastra. That is the message of Bhagavad Gita. That is the message of Bhagavatam. And that is how we should reorient our life in such a way that we can maximize this opportunity. We can maximize this opportunity of human form of life. We should consider it is the most valuable asset.
Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
as that the entire Bhagavad Gita was explained only to motivate Arjuna to fight as a Kshatriya. For that, Lord has taught him the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dharma Yoga, and even shown his
Probably we
Vishwarup.
can we raise hand? We can discuss this point towards the end. Okay, let me just finish, and then we can you can raise hand and we can take up the question later. Okay.
Right.
Thank you, sir. On the other hand, there is a Brahmana or who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problem of life. So Prabhupada is comparing, contrast the person who is living life like a cat and dog and versus an intelligent person who is utilizing this body properly to solve the problems of life. So the problems of life on one side and the solutions that we possess on the other side, they are not going to work. They're not going to work. None of these problems can be solved by these solutions. No matter how rich you may become, you will get old, you will get diseased, and you will die. And you will take birth again. That is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur, dhruvo janma mrutasya cha. Dhruvo is uncertain, is definite. There's no question whether it will or it will not. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. Anyone who has taken birth is sure to die, and anyone who is dying is sure to take birth again. Jata dhruvo janma mrutasya cha. 2.27 Bhagavad Gita. So, so none of this will solve this problem. Any of these problems cannot be solved by these means. Where the solution is in learning Bhagavad Gita, we can end the cycle of repeated birth if we study and apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in our life. So that should be that is what we should conclude our class with this understanding. Always remember Krishna and take his shelter in every situation. Never forget Krishna. This is the ultimate teaching of all scriptures. Human life should be used for solving a real problem of life, which are birth, old age, disease, and death. Since the world is created by Krishna, we are trapped here in the cycle of repeated birth. Only Krishna knows the solution, how to come out of it, how to get out of it. And he has kindly provided that solution in Bhagavad Gita, which we should learn, practice, and end the cycle of repeated birth in this lifetime itself. We should utilize this lifetime for for completing our mission of human life. Facility for hearing and chanting, how we can, the two tools, reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam so that we remember these instructions continuously, and practically realizing the knowledge first and taking first hand experience of spiritual happiness by studying, by performing mantra meditation. So we offer these facilities on Zoom, that these two sessions we conduct every day. The chant japa session from 4:45 to 7:30 a.m. in the morning, and reading session of Srimad Bhagavatam from 8:30 to 9, and Bhagavad Gita from 9 to 9:15. So all of you are requested to make use of this available facility and cultivate our own Krishna consciousness, go close to Krishna, and ultimately go to Krishna at the end of our life. So you all can raise hands if you have any questions, but this is the last slide. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna. Sajiv Prabhuji, I saw you raise hand, so you can ask your question if you have any.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a wonderful session. Like you said, Prabhuji, devotional service should be your topmost priority. Now, the thing is, Prabhuji, devotional service, although it may look easy at the face of it, it requires a huge amount of determination and getting out of your comfort zone. Because in devotional service, if you, let's say, you skip your daily chanting, or you don't wake up early in the morning to, attend Mangala Aarti, all of those things, there is no penalty or punishment involved. Unlike in the material world, where if you don't, end up for your job on time and mark your attendance on that biometric machine, or let's say if you don't pay your monthly rent to your landlord, there's an immediate punishment and penalty involved. So the reluctance and resistance in devotional service primarily comes because of a lack of any punishment or penalty. So you say, okay, it's okay if I skip it today. My question is, how does one build that level of determination wherein you put devotional service right on top in your priority list, and your job and everything else, comes down that priority list. How does one build that determination?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So as we've heard when that one of the verses,
Prabhuji,
yes,
hello.
Hare
I
Krishna.
to have one question,
Can
sir.
we after this? Can take after
No,
this?
sir, related to this
Related?
devotional, sir. Related to this question only, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Devotional service without bhakti also, it's a waste, no, sir. So how to inculcate the bhakti? No, doing devotional service is like a work. While doing it without a bhakti is also like a burden to a devotee without a bhakti also, no, sir.
You can, yeah, we can take this question later. It's sound related, but actually it's a slightly different question. And so the first question, Sanjeev Prabhuji, that how to make ourselves, so the Bhagavatam verse that we saw, that the two words that were used for that loving devotional service is ahetuki and apratihata, uninterrupted. Apratihata means uninterrupted. How we can perform devotional service uninterrupted when we know there is no penalty to us is by performing it under guidance of a devotee. By performing it under guidance of a devotee. So when it's like we make ourselves accountable to that devotee. We create that level of accountability with a devotee, with our guide, our mentor, whoever that might be, who is in touch with us, and we offer ourselves to that devotee, and we say that I we give that authority to that devotee to scold us also. If we find us becoming lazy and straying away from the path of devotional service, so that requires some commitment from our end. When we are guided by the devotee, that devotee will ensure that we remain accountable in our bhakti also. Similarly, just like you gave examples that if you don't complete a project, your paycheck can get impacted. But so you will be more diligent in those efforts, but in bhakti, there's no immediate effect. But if you are performing devotional service under guidance of a devotee who is closely monitoring it, it is possible to create that kind of accountability. So that's a secret that we can do. That's how we can remain accountable and we can perform devotional service in an uninterrupted way. Also, the devotee can ensure that we attend all sessions, we come for we do everything that is required to be done to continuously progress towards Krishna in the devotional service. So this is how we create that accountability. If we leave it to our own mind will cheat you. There's no doubt that capacity of a mind is to cheat you, that it will convince you that आज नहीं करते कल करते हैं, and कल नहीं करते परसों करते हैं. And then you will without your realizing, months would have passed and you would not have lifted your japa mala, or must not have attended any new class. So this is where we have to offer ourselves to take guidance from a devotee. And when and that's also taking a lower position. It hurts ego to become subordinate to somebody. It for egoistic person, it can be very hurtful. But we have to give up our ego and become a subordinate to a devotee. We have to tell them with folded hands that please guide me, Prabhuji, through this journey. And then that devotee takes control of our life, guide us throughout the journey. He himself will also be guided by somebody. This is where the disciplic succession piece comes into play. It's not that he's self-realized soul, he knows everything. He's guided by someone, and that's why he's able to guide you. The moment you see his connection broken with his seniors, he is fit to be abandoned. So we have to work on this. And in the By taking shelter of other devotees, we can perform devotional service in an uninterrupted way. But for that, we have to offer ourselves. We have to leave aside our ego and become subordinate to such people, and take their shelter, take their guidance, and act on that to the extent possible. Share our heart with them, share our problems with them. Sometimes devotees don't attend classes, they don't tell, and then after after a lot of inquiry, they said nahi nahi घर पे किसी को heart attack आया था, and therefore we were busy with taking care of that. No, that's fine, that's it, you should share, nothing wrong in that. And that's the time when you should pay more attention to the medical care of to be taken for that family member, whoever is suffering. So but if you don't share, the misunderstandings can brew, and then the distance the our we can go away from devotees. We should stay close to devotees. This is not something that we should try to alone. So that is how we can that is how we can ensure that we are performing loving devotional service in an uninterrupted way. But that's most important thing. Thank you so much for asking this question. uh Pravilika Mataji, on your question ki devotional service, can you repeat your question, Mataji, if you're still there?
Yes, sir. Devotional service without bhakti is also like a waste, no, sir. It feels like a burden to a devotee who is in initial stage of devotional service. Now that leads to laziness and procrastination, everything, sir.
Okay, so devotion is a sentimental, is a sentiment. Devotion is love for Krishna. That's why its translation is loving devotional service. So devotional bhakti is a sentiment. Bhakti is a sentiment. It's a transcendental, pure sentiment, pure loving sentiment towards Lord. And initially, as you rightly pointed out, we may have some attraction towards Lord, but we may not have a lot of love for Lord. We may have a lot of love for our spouses, our children, our parents, our nation, and hopefully not, but our sporting idols, our politicians, whom we admire. We may have more love for them than love for Krishna. That's possible, but we may have some attraction towards Krishna, some affection towards Krishna, and that is the reason why we are trying to come to Krishna. We are trying to visit temples, we are trying to meet devotees, we are trying to read Bhagavad Gita, we are open to the possibility of gaining something by studying Bhagavad Gita, because because we have some positive sentiments towards Krishna. Now that sentiment, size of that sentiment can be like a drop today. So we have devotion. That's why we are in bhakti, in devotional service. That's why we are all in this class. Service is actual activity of waking up early in the morning. Even though we may not have best of lifestyles, sometimes we sleep late, but we still wake up early in the morning to perform our japa, doing japa, sitting with japmala when everyone else is watching TV, everyone else is sleeping early morning hours, and we are doing japamala beads. We're trying to concentrate, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra here, attend Zoom sessions for that in the morning, so that we can be seen by other devotees that so and so person has started joining japa. And so now these are the activities, every Sunday, removing time between 11 to 1 and attend Bhagavad Gita class, where everywhere all of our friends could be partying somewhere, visiting mall or movie, somewhere else, and gone for picnics during rainy seasons, but I'm attending Bhagavad Gita classes. So these activities can actually be burdensome in the initial phase if you have little devotion for this thing, little love for Krishna. But as we progress, we have to make these activities a priority. Whatever is important to us, we do it. At times may by going against our desire, but we'll still do it. So if you have important exam coming up, you will study. Even if all other friends of yours have gone out for a picnic, you will still study, because you consider this exam to be important for us. So we have to give Krishna and Krishna consciousness its due importance. It's going to give me what are the benefits we are going to get. What is the if we can be peaceful, if we can be happy, we can gain knowledge, if we can become a truthful person, a person with integrity, a person with positivity, a person with uh, who is knowledgeable, who is so all the good qualities if we can demonstrate, if we can learn by studying Bhagavad Gita. So it's such a high, if we can control, gain reasonable control over our mind, if we can gain reasonable control over our unwanted desires, if we can if we can if we can become very compassionate person and help everyone, uh, will we not be best of our being, will we not be the best version of who we can become? So if we can become all of that by simply practicing Krishna consciousness, by simply studying Bhagavad Gita, by simply doing japa, uh, why not give it a try? Why not give it a try? And so by making this very important and reminding ourselves that about its importance, we do it in the initial period by following rules and regulations. The sentiment will come. It is there today, but it is small. It will it as we study go through Bhagavad Gita, that sentiment will eventually grow. And as the sentiment growing, uh, these activities which may seems to be burdensome at the beginning, may you will start relishing the same activities. It's like a person who is infected with jaundice may be eating a sugar candy or a sugar cane. No, it will not taste good, but sugarcane is the solution for that problem also. So as he continued to chew the sugarcane, as his disease reduces, the same sugarcane, he start tasting it sweet. Its sweetness, he start relishing the sweetness of that same sugarcane, which he was not finding, or it was not as tasty as it was before. So uh, by doing this same activity, eventually our our sentiment will grow. We are allowing our sentiment to grow, and as that happens, the same activity becomes a relishable activity. I know, we know of devotees who will, for every available extra moment, they will be engaged in japa, they will be singing kirtans, whereas everybody else will be singing Bollywood and Hollywood songs. So same, these activities will become relishable activities as we progress in Bhagavad Gita, as we progress in devotional service. And that's how the same activities which may be burdensome today can become relishable tomorrow. The idea is we start small. That's why we don't say day one do 16 rounds, sit for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, do with a bead bag in your hand. No need. If you can do that, wonderful. But if you cannot do that, start small. Start with one rapamala, start with two malas, start with four, increase it to eight, and start joining morning japa sessions, so that you will feel inspired from other devotees. You can feel inspired from other devotees, and then so take association of devotees. So consider it to be important. If you consider it to be important, you will work on it by different ways and means to increase your devotion. And as your devotion will grow, the same activities will become relishable activities. Okay? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Nirbhay Prabhuji, you have a question?
The entire Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna ji. ये भगवान
हाँ,
has
महेश्वर त्रिपाठी प्रभु जी, हाँ आप पूछिएगा. Yes,
हाँ जी.
you were asking a question.
The Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has taken time to explain Arjuna, to motivate Arjuna to fight against as a Kshatriya. But for that, he has explained Karma Yoga, Dharma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and lastly, he has shown his Vishwarup. But further, Arjuna was not satisfied. He was still confused. He asked, what I should know, or what should guide me. Lastly, Lord Krishna says, Arjun, you forget everything. मैं अभी तक जो बोला है सब भूल जाओ. You come to my शरण. सर्वधर्म परित्यज मामेकम शरणं ब्रज. He says, you forget everything, come to my rescue. I will do everything for you. That is a lesson to the human being. When we are held up, not able to solve our problems, Lord says, you think of me. You hand over problems to me. I will solve it. So this handling on problems comes only with devotion. If you have that bhakti, that devotion, then only you can surrender. Hey, Lord, I have this problem. Please help me. Please solve me. Ultimately, you'll gain some advice, some inner thought that will help us in life. This is our learning, our devotion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maheshwar. Thank you so much. Deepshika Mataji, you have a question?
Hello. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Nirbhay,
Prabhuji.
sorry, Nirbhay
Yeah,
Prabhuji is, I think, unmuting. Yes,
yeah,
Prabhuji.
yeah. Yeah. So, Prabhuji, I was just having a question, I think, where we have one slide where we have to surrender to the guru or the right spiritual master, right? So, in this current world, there are a lot of spiritual masters, and we don't know like which is right, which is wrong, and whom should we surrender, and how can we make ourselves comfortable to surrender right spiritual guru? So, first question is like, how can I find that he is my spiritual guru should be, and how can I surrender myself?
Yeah. So, so the path of yeah, there are many paths, and everything can sound very attractive and seems to be very attractive. So we need to understand how should we choose the right path. Sometimes the we don't know the when we fall sick. Not every time we don't know um the nitty-gritties of medicine, but we know people who have got cured by that medicine. If we know people who got cured of the by that medicine, then it becomes easier for us to pursue that path of medical treatment. So we should see examples of how Arjuna got relieved from his distress condition. And like similar to Arjuna, how Prabhupada was relieved, and similar to Prabhupada, how all his disciples were relieved of their material conditions. If we see examples of people, becoming free from their material anxieties and attaining the situation where they are able to devote themselves completely to the service of the Lord, that is the success of the preaching and the practice both. The preaching, the philosophy, and the practice is actual practical application of that philosophy in by performance devotional service. So when we see those examples around us, they tell us that if so there is a solution to my problem that exists, and these are the people who also had a similar problem and they have applied that solution and they have got cured. So if I apply myself to the same situation, I take the same treatment and apply myself properly to the treatment, I can also be cured. And then so that is how we come to Krishna consciousness. We see the Krishna consciousness, that we should also have the same understanding of Bhagavad Gita as Arjuna had. End of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says that Nashto moha smrutir labdhva tvat prasadan maya achyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. I will do as you say. Now this is the example of surrendered soul. Uh, as you say, I will do. Karishye vachanam tava. Whatever you will tell me to do, I will do. Now that mood Arjuna acquired after hearing entire Bhagavad Gita. And devotees of Krishna also have similar mood. Prabhupada had similar mood. All his disciples also have similar mood. Now, if by seeing this, we should know that if we follow this philosophy and if we follow this practice, we can also attain the same mood. We can also attain the same result. So then we know that we are on the right path. So we should see any guru that we hope to surrender ourselves to. We should see his connection with Krishna. His job, singular job, is to connect us with Krishna. Connect every soul with Krishna. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshate. That your mind, you should be able to invest in Krishna. Yena kena prakarena, by this way or that way. Now, this is Guru's expertise. Guru's expertise is to mold a student, mold a disciple in such a way, because everyone will come up with their baggage. All of us, we do have our own inclinations, our own difficulties, our own problems, and hence we need a guru to mold ourselves in such way that we are connected to Krishna. We become we become connectable to Krishna. That is the expertise of the guru. And hence we should seek such guru who personally has himself, he's connected with Krishna, and he is able to help us connect with Krishna. That is our major. That is our major of understanding that who is a right guru. If a guru is not able to connect us with Krishna, we should give up such guru. It can be as simple as that. Okay, Bruji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah,
The
thank you so much.
explanation.
Deepika Datta Mataji and then Amit Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question regarding what are the do's and don'ts for keeping tulsi at home? Are we allowed to offer water every day, or can we offer everyday water?
Yes, Mataji, we can offer water every day to Tulsi, and there are no rules, Mataji. Why we are worried? Uh, our it is called loving devotional service for a reason. You know, Brajavasis don't think of rules and regulations, but their
Okay.
love for Krishna is at a very advanced level where they can scold Krishna. They can tell Krishna to play with them. They can force Krishna to do things for them. So their love is at a very advanced level. But nevertheless, our love can be at a beginner level, but still it is love. So
Yes.
it is to be, we should not be fearful in love. We should be loving in love. And hence CG will help us remember Krishna. And it
Okay.
will give us that by seeing Tulsi, we'll remember Krishna. So we should have Tulsi and we should water her wherever needed. Okay.
Okay. Few people tell that during Ekadashi we must avoid. Is there anything like that?
Tulsi Mataji is not fasting from water on Ekadashi. Nirjala
Okay.
unko क्यों करवा रहे हैं?
Fine.
If she's drying up, please water her.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Amit Ruji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, full of senses. Prabhuji, it is that on one side it is the anxieties, then comes the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and on the other side comes assurance. So, can you just put some insightful thoughts on that? How anxieties get converted into assurances by means of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and the spirit of Arjuna? Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So our anxiety, we have anxiety. We will continue to have anxiety as long as we are trying to deal with our problems on our own. As long as the Krishna is missing, is like as long as the light is not switched on at night, you will always remain in dark. You have some capacity. You know, we are all separated. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Ansho Jivaloke. So we have some light. You know, it's like uh, at night there are some insects which glow. But and so like that, you know, but then in comparison with sun, you know, that light given by those small insects is negligible. But still there is light. Similarly, we also possess something in us which is similar to Krishna, but it's because it's in very small, minute quantity. It's as good as not being there. It is there, but it is not there. So as long as we are trying to solve all our problems by our own means, we will always be in anxiety. Knowledge from Bhagavad Gita help us see Krishna's hand in our life, even if it is not visible. My flight takes off and lands because there's so much happen in the background which I'm not seen. I'm not seeing. I just purchased my ticket. I went to the airport. I made myself went to the security, and whenever allowed, I was sitting in the aeroplane. I only knew this much, but as a result of all the collective effort done by so many people in the background, which I may not even know their names. I may not even know
Prabhuji, your voice has become less.
uh, is this better?
Yes.
Could be some internet issue, but because of their collective effort, my flight, I'm able to take off from Mumbai and land in Delhi. Now I may not know. Similarly, Krishna play hand in our life, and most time we don't know. But through the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, now we know. Now we know, and then we become aware of Krishna's presence in our life, Krishna's role in our life, and then we decide to cooperate with Krishna. We decide to work with Krishna, and that itself reduces our anxiety. Now, seeing Krishna's greatness and seeing Krishna's loving nature, our love for Krishna also can grow if we practice Krishna consciousness, if we read Bhagavad Gita, and if you do Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and if you engage yourself in some practical service. By doing these three basic things and avoiding, of course, the following the four regulative principle, avoiding sinful activities. By doing these four basic things also, we can see our love for Krishna increasing, and that will help us. That will as that grows, our dependence on Krishna will also increase. So eventually we will come to the mood of surrender. That surrender, that I will do my best, but if you want, you let it happen. If you don't want, you if I'm doing I've done my part, Krishna. My flight is now going to take off. If you want, you make that flight land. If you don't want, you get it crashed. I will continue to chant your name, and you're completely dependent on Krishna. You do it with knowledge about Krishna. Remember, everyone in the aeroplane is in the same condition. They have zero control over whether the flight is going to land or it's going to crash. However, a devotee is thinking, if Krishna want, he will. If Krishna, if there is no sanction, I will not land. If Krishna is sanctioning, no matter how bad weather is, no matter what problem we may face, which engine fail, what happens, I will land. If Krishna want me to be saved, I will be saved. If Krishna does not want me to be saved, I will die. So let me keep remembering Krishna through japa, through other means, through reading of Bhagavad Gita. So devotee will be at that surrendered mood while he's still performing his functioning in the material world, but he can be mentally at that surrender mood. And that journey is what we all can hope to complete in this lifetime. Okay.
Thank you very much, Shauji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, let me just see if there are any questions in the chat box. Vikas Soji, are there any questions in the chat box? Have you seen?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. No Prabhuji, to me means in general, just one question has come from this Air Commodore Jagdish Vani Prabhuji. Right, how to remain committed always in life. Guru may not be available always for guidance.
Yeah, devotees will be available, Roji. Guru is, you're right. Okay, Guru, the sannyasis typically in ISKCON, we see that sannyasis have many other duties, but devotees will always be available. And we should seek shelter from one of the devotee, and so that we can remain under their guidance and seek their guidance always. So hopefully, we discussed that earlier also. But since there are no other questions, we can conclude today's session. जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.